story of Job is fascinating. And I read the first couple chapters, and I see an amazing faith that this guy had. Hard things were happening, and he still held on to his faith in God. And in each of the first two chapters, it says that in all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. But as I read through the book, the tone kind of changes. And Job especially becomes increasingly frustrated with his friends who continue to hound him. And they continue to say, okay, Job, you need to come clean with what you did. Because there's a principle at play. And this principle is, if you do good, good things happen to you. If you do bad, bad things are happening to you. Job, bad things are happening to you. What did you do wrong? Admit it. What is it? And he just kept looking, saying, I don't think I did anything necessarily wrong that would have brought this about. And the friends just kept hammering. And in chapter 19, it kind of comes to a head. And in his frustration to his friends, chapter 19, verse 5, says this: If indeed you would exalt yourselves above me and use my humiliation against me, then know that God has wronged me and drawn his net around me. It's a pretty big turn from not charging God with wrongdoing to saying to his friends, hey, God has wronged me. And in the verses that follow, he builds on that idea. How did he get here? Well, it seems that Job embraced this worldview that they had, that it's not just a principle, but it's a law, that if you do good, good things will happen to you. And if you do bad, bad things will happen to you. And as he looked at his life, he saw bad things happening to him, but he thought he had been pretty faithful. He thought, well, God must have blown it. God must have been wrong. And as I consider that, as I look at what his friends were sharing, is that a principle? Yeah, that seems to be a principle, even a biblical principle. That if you are faithful, if you do good, good things will happen to you. If you do bad, bad things will happen to you. That seems to be a general thing. But at the same time, it's not a universal law. It's not a promise. And it's not a dictate. That anytime something bad happens to someone, they did wrong. And anytime something good happens to someone, they did right. That's just not true. But because Job embraced this, what is really a false teaching, that this is a universal thing, he ended up charging God with wrongdoing. And as I look at this story, it drives home a point to me that has come clear in different areas of my life. It's really important to be careful with teachings that we embrace, that we accept. Because we could get down a wrong path, just like Job did here. And God was forgiving to him. And God showed grace to him. But he got off. He went down a wrong path, so much so that he charged God with wrongdoing because he embraced this. And sometimes it's hard to know what's right and what's not. And it's not always clear. But I need to be very careful what I'm just blindly accepting and what I'm blindly embracing. And I need to go back to God's word. And I need to ask God's Spirit to give me wisdom and insight and understanding. And I need to spend time really thinking through, okay, God, what's true? What do you have for me? Studying his word. Taking that time to have the right doctrine, which will fuel me, hopefully, by his grace, to have the right view towards him, the right view towards others, and the right view towards his world.